Welcome Taste Designs 107. I'm the S in the car pack and you're the kings and queens. Today what I for you guys is a Photoshop tutorial showing you how you can make your own Twitter banner or YouTube header, wherever you really want to incorporate the style. I really do hope that you enjoy the tutorial. It's been a fucking while since I made a video for you guys in design, so yeah, hopefully this channel is pretty dead. Maybe, we never know. We could get really dank views, never know. Anyway, I just wanted to make content because I felt like it, so I'm doing it. Anyway, I really do hope you enjoy the video. Remember, the original designer for this effect that I found on Twitter will be credited in the description below. So if you want to go check his work out, make sure you do. His name's on screen now. Easy peasy. We're good to go with the credits. Let's roll out. Alright, so to get started with the tutorial, we're going to head into Cinema 4D. And down in the description below, like with all my tutorials, I try to keep it as easy as possible for you guys. So what that means is, so what that means is there's going to be a download link for a bunch of the resources for the tutorial, including the Cinema 4D files for the Lightroom that I've used, as well as the setup. So the Lightroom means that it's already set up for you guys. All you have to do is edit the text. Just saves a lot of time on my part for the tutorial. That means we can do more of the Photoshop aspects instead of the Cinema 4D stuff. If you do want me to make a tutorial showing you like the Lightroom and stuff in Cinema 4D, let me know. I'll be happy to do that. Anyway, so in Cinema 4D, you're just going to open up that file basically, which I had. I don't know why it's like this weird layout. Yeah, it's probably because it doesn't have that anything. Anyway, so let's just go to File, Open. And this is the setup that we've got going. So remember, you just kind of want like a good retro font for the style. You would have seen like what it is really in the beginning of the tutorial with the music and shit. So yeah, but I couldn't really find an appropriate retro font, so I just been using Impact. It's a really bold, easy font to work with. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the example effect on my other screen. Okay, perfect. Let's get starterino. Alright, so with the text, we're going to go down here and just edit it. So I'm gonna do, I want to do Ace Design. I could come up like with a random name. Let's do Design, because it's nice and easy. I might just capital it actually. Even though you don't have to, like with some fonts, like it's automatically capitalized letters. I just enjoy it like that. Okay, sweet. So we got that. We're gonna move this to the center like this. Okay, so basically what I did to this text, if you're just wondering real quick, I added a null to it. Oh, no, not null. What am I fucking talking about? See, I haven't done this in a while. Huge depth. Like for an example, if this was like a random depth of like 50, it's normal text, right? But if you make the depth huge, like 20,000, that goes right to the back, and it like makes this illusion like it's popping out. That's what we really want. We want it to pop the fuck off, basically. Anyway, so we got that text. I'm liking this light position. I know this is gonna work because I did kind of a back check in Photoshop. So yeah. So we're gonna go down here into the render settings, make sure it's 1920 by 1080p. I'm a little bit sick, so this is like literally the worst time for me to come back to the channel. Anyway, I've got heaps of vibes, as you can see. We're gonna go to the save folder and we're just gonna save it here. Alright, I've already got a render. I'm gonna do this render 1, just to change it up a bit, and we're going to close this and do render on this file. Easy as that. Bam, read a Pinot, bam. If your computer's fast, it should do pretty fast. Mine's got a 1070, really good CPU, so it's decently good. So yeah, hopefully this won't take too long for you in the render. If it does, sorry, Cinema 4D things, not my problem. So let's go to Photoshop and open that in the meantime, and as soon as Photoshop has opened, hopefully the render will be nearly done. Alright, I do not want to tell you how you can improve your Adobe products. Do I really want to, nigga? Nah, I'm joking. Don't say racial slurs, not cool. Anyway, so with the files and that setups, we're just gonna go to File, New, and we're going to get a new document. Alright, so for the size of the document, we're gonna do 3000 pixels. by 1000 pixels. Nice and simple, makes the Twitter header nice and huge, so we got heaps of room for downsizing the document if we ever want to. Resolution 300, so we're gonna like get all those pixels punched in one little place. Makes it really nice and crisp. Alright. Okay. So, for the first step of the tutorial, we're just gonna go to File, Open, and open up the render. Easy peasy. That's not our render. Yeah, there we go. Alright, sweeto pedo. Alright, we're just going to drag this one onto the document. It's not really centered, it's kind of triggering me, but yeah, we'll work with that. Anyway, so we're going to press Control A, select the entire document. You should know this. Press V for the move tool, easy peasy, and we're just going to center it with that. If you don't have like the updated versions of Photoshop, you just press the second and fifth icon up in the top of this bar, and it's set as that. Press Control D to deselect that selection, and we're good to rock and roll. Alright, so we're going to make a new layer by pressing Control Shift N. I'm going to bring up this box, press OK. That makes us a new layer in the layer area. If you're relatively old to the channel, you should know all this shit. And then we're just going to go to the foreground color, and we're going to pick like a dark purple, like a really dark purple, like Magneto basically. Right, so we're going to just go right down to this. Even though it doesn't look purple, like let me give you an example. That's pretty purple, like I'm talking like a black purple, so like something like this, like way down in the chain. Sweet, because we're going to add in heaps of color anyway, we just need a really dark backing. This is a really nice Lightroom we've got going. As you can see, it's got the little highlights in between the text, and yeah, it's just really sexy. So we're going to go to the layer, and actually what I did is I grabbed the text tool, made it any really text color, because we're going to be doing a text like a layer style over it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what we go with. Just make sure it's the same font as you did the render with, which is Impact, and I'm just going to do Design, which is the same word obviously. I need to capitalize it. My bad, I was pressing fucking Shift when I had cap locks on. Feels bad. Let's go Control Shift Enter. It's going to complete that selection. Press Control T to transform it. Hold Shift when you're transforming it. Sweeto. And then we're just going to make it like relatively the size. Okay, the text is not going to perfectly fit the front of the text. I understand that, because you know, it's a 3D text, it's a little bit skewed on the perspective of the camera. That's totally fine. We just need to get something that's going to work for us. If you press Alt and Shift and drag one of the corners, it's going to drag it around like that. It's going to do it along the anchor point. That's what we want when we're resizing this to be smaller in that. Okay, I'm just going to pull my finger off Alt, and then I can drag it sideways. But I want to drag it sideways on both ends. But I don't want it to snap, so I'm going to zoom in. If you don't like the automatic snapping of Photoshop, but you still want to keep it as a setting, just zoom in and you can get more accurate with it. Alright, sweet. Now the reason why I did it so it's like we've still got those edges on the side is because we're going to add a stroke to this baby. So the stroke is going to cover that for the most part anyway. If it doesn't, we can always go back and like redo it up. That's perfectly fine. Anyway, so with this text, we're going to go to the blending options. We're going to do a stroke. Now, I've already got these like things done, so I'm just going to do this new and just go through this like brand new basically for you guys. So, I'm not going to do a stroke first. I'm going to do a gradient overlay. And with this gradient overlay, it's going to be using this standard thing which I made here. Now, I'm going to save this as a preset as I go during the tutorial. So when you download the like Photoshop bit assets in the description below, make sure you go down there. You can just load in this and not do all the funky bits, which I'm going to go through now. But if you want to actually learn stuff and go through it with me, feel free to just follow along. So we're going to select a gradient that has 4 points on it. And it's going to have a change in the color. So we can use one of these presets. That's perfectly fine. So this is a good preset. It might look hideous, but we're going to make it pop off, basically. I don't want to swear that much because I might have like a younger demographic in viewers, and it's not really professional. There's some reasons behind it. Anyway, so we're going to go with this color, right? And we're going to pick like a dark blue. You can really pick any color, like any color scheme you want. I'm just showing you the flow of things basically, and then you can go through and fix it all up. then we're going to add another anchor by just clicking here, and we're just going to do like a medium blue or whatever, like that. That's pretty nice. We can always change it like later. I'm thinking like that. Right, sweet. And then we are going to do white. That's perfectly fine. And then we're going to go to this color and we're going to do a dark purple, which is something like that, but it's going to have to be like near black. So it's really hard to do with the fucking yellow there, but can always change it. So once we go to the yellow, we're going to get like a pink, bring in that mojo style, and then see it's looking a lot more retro-y. Once we add in like a noise filter on this, oh baby, triple kill. Anyway, something like that, and yeah. Right, sweet. I don't like it that this white is like tapering off too far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in like another thing here and drag this thing closer to that point. I'm also gonna grab this color by just pressing Ctrl C on this, like this code or whatever. Press OK, and then go to here and then press that. So that way you can extend this gradient and then not be as rough onto it. I accidentally. Actually, you don't even need just bring like that. What the fuck am I doing? I don't really like that. That's a lot better. Still can do it with some improvements. Holy shit. Just trying to get like a really nice setting basically. Here, nothing all. Magic bullet looks and shit like that will make it really nice anyway. So we got something like this. I don't know why that's got a different color on it. Really, nigga? I'm gonna have to find it again. I'm good. Okay, so like that blue. Sweet, easy peasy. And then we're just gonna go okay. Right, so we got like a really like funky like little what you call it, lay style going on right now. Then we're gonna go back into the stroke, and it's gonna be white. We're going to want like the same type of gradient, but a little bit different. So we're gonna go to like the preset ones again, and we're going to do like, it's just gonna be a really simple gradient. So it's gonna be light blue. Also, if you want to color my stuff, you can just pause the video and just color that and have the exact same settings and go along with me. It's really up to you. We're just gonna flip this real quick by doing a reverse. Just makes it more convenient. Okay, so we're just going to go down here and do like that blue. I'm liking. I've got like a source image that I'm following along on my second monitor, so no stress if this is like complicated to you. Just yeah, easy peasy. Just same techniques. Did I really just reset that? Oh, fuck you, Photoshop. But yeah, guys, let me know how you've been going in the comments. I'm glad to be back to this channel. Yeah, probably gonna AFK for another 3 months. Feels bad, man. AFK missing bot lane. Alright, nah, I don't think so. I just gotta stick to making content that which I enjoy. I got really burnt out to a certain point, which YouTubers saying you might be sick of hearing, but it's actually like true. Like, if you're not making content which you enjoy, which at this time, like pumping out design videos for me was not what I was like enjoying. I just wanted to like make like short little films or whatever, or just something like that, but I just never got around to it. I never really had the people to do it with, like the friends with the same interest or that, which is fine. I just, yeah, anyway. So we're gonna have that, like the thing, and look how much of a difference that stroke adds to the total effect. That just makes a huge difference, in my opinion, and it just makes it look like stand out really nice. Anyway, this text looks like it's a part of it. It doesn't look like it's a front of it or anything, which is what we want. As you can see, I matched the color relatively close to that. Actually, that's a good idea. I should make it the same color scheme as before. So if I go to this last one and just pick that color, it should go into that pretty nicely. Alright, sweet. And then with this N whatever, I can just pump that one down with the arrow key. And then sweet. It's fitting to that pretty nicely. The D could be fixed up. That's what she said. But everything, like, in terms of how I'm liking it is alright. We can just warp this if we really wanted to. We'll need to rationalize the layer, I'm assuming. So if we wanted to do that type of stuff, which I'm not really a fan of when you're working with text, you try to reduce the amount of times you rationalize layers and that. But it's totally fine if you do. Okay. So once we got this going, we are going to do the same for the bottom text. We're also going to add in a noise layer. I've never really worked with noise, so I mean, you could render clouds or something and then apply it on top of the text or anything, but I'm just going to do something really simple and go over with a pattern overlay. I forgot how I did this. I think I did did I do a color overlay? And then I changed this to like, no, I didn't. I think I rationalized the layer. Yeah, it feels bad, man. I think I rationalized the layer and I applied it on like that, which is fine. We'll do it later. First, we're just going to go back to Cinema 4D and get our other text. So I'm gonna do on this one, design tutorial, just something really like anything for the purpose of the tutorial, which is fine. So yeah, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna show you how you can change the text in different colors in this like setup which we've got going. So I'm just gonna center that. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna go to this blue right here. I'm just assuming this is one method. You can go to the edit function and then change your color scheme, unless you would have to go and change the like the glow setting also. There is an easier way. You can just drag one of these on, like one of these palettes, and just use one of those and just render this. I don't want to overwrite that, so I'm gonna make a new text, render 2, and then bam. Now this isn't gonna have like a slight little glow onto it, but it should be perfectly fine. We just need something for the bottom text. Okay, so while that's rendering, we're just going to go back into Photoshop and just work on some stuff. Okay, so we do need some triangles, like polygon triangles, as well as a polygon background, which I'll be showing you how to make. I'll be showing you how to make something really dank, as you saw in the preview. So yeah, so first I'm going to show you how to make the background, since that's probably the most difficult like thing after this. So it involves like some juxtaposition as well as like finding the polygon background. I'm also gonna do this so you guys like can't see my history, because yeah. So let's go to this and then do this. Okay, so we're gonna use fuck it, I don't want to use the pen tool. I'm not in the mood for the pen tool. I actually have to think when I'm doing the pen tool. I just want to mess around with Photoshop. What about you guys? So let's go down to the rectangle tool. The fill like white is fine. We're going to get rid of the fill anyway, because we're going to be applying like a layer style over this. So we're going to just make a rectangle like the size of the text. Easy peasy. Just like this size. And this is just going to be a shape for us. It's going to be like nothing, so don't really worry about any of this stuff. Just go to rationalize layer, right click rationalize layer, easy peasy. We've got a rectangle. Woohoo! We can use that as layer. It's going to be behind our design thing, behind those two, and we're just going to press Ctrl T. Okay, so for this, what I'm going to do is, you can hold shift, I think it's shift, yeah, so you can do like that to get the layer. Okay. Okay. So press Ctrl T. We're going to, I think, do distort. Maybe we can do. Jesus, I actually forgot Photoshop. That's actually so fucked. Can we do perspective? Yeah. Okay. Perspective. Jesus, I didn't forget. Okay. So perspective. Grab one of the corners and hold shift, and we're just gonna do that. Okay. And then press Ctrl T and then move this across like that, and bring this in like that. Sweet. Okay, press Control T again, and we're gonna go to perspective and hold shift. We don't want to hold shift, we just want to drag this point out, sorry. I just want the point, cunt. Give me the point. Perspective. Distort. Okay, yeah, do the distort and grab one of the points and move it like this. Okay, sweet. So we kind of got this like panel coming out towards us, and just press Control T, bring this a little bit down like that. Okay, sweet. Okay, so with this panel, we're gonna do a couple of different things. We're going to make some bits of it pop off and some bits of it's not really pop off. Okay, so we're going to go up into Google and find some stock images. This is how I find stock images. Jesus Christ, it actually shows my history. This is scary. Polygon images. Stock images. Okay, so Polygon stock images, when you do design in that, you kind of get an idea of what like certain things really mean, like with the text, like textures and that. So when I like find like an effect that I really want to make for you guys, I kind of already know what the stock names are to get that. So again, we're going to be using Polygon stock images. We're going to find an appropriate stock which we can use. I really like this stock, but it's got a watermark over it. That's a really big downside with watermarks. That's why you can get like graphics pack, which have a lot of things already. Just a quick plug into my like website store. I have graphic packs. They have like these types of images exactly into them. I tend to not use them in tutorials. It's just a lot easier for me to go onto Google, because then I won't have to like give away the product to you guys as a part of the free tutorial. But if I really can't find something, I would usually resort to the graphic pack. So let's just type free. I doubt this would work, but we'll see. Nah, it's always gonna bring up that thing. Well, actually, this watermark isn't too bad, but it's not really some. We want something that's more like abstract, basically, like this. Honestly, this watermark's not too bad. We can probably work with this. Alright, let's go to save image and save that there. Okay. Go to file, open, and then go to the desktop and just open that one up. Okay, sweet. So we're going to just crop that and have that image there, and we're going to go into here and just press Control T, enter, or Control and Shift enter. I haven't changed the settings in this new Photoshop ever since I installed it, so it acts like it's got some weird settings that I'm not usually used to, which is kind of sucky. Considering I'm teaching Photoshop, I should be able to fix it myself, lols, but I don't know how to, lols. Anyway, so we're going to just resize that to over the text. We're gonna right click, do create clipping mask, and we got something like this. Sweet. I want more pattern in there, so I'm gonna, on the bottom in particular. So I'm gonna find like a point where there's heaps of patterns, something like that. And I'm going to rasterlize this. Not rasterlize it, change the color. So to do that, I'm just gonna probably create a clip, like a layer mask, to be honest. And then just that. Okay, so basically what I did is I went down to here in the layer masks. I did hue saturation, right click, do create clipping mask, so it only makes it to this layer here. And we're just going to change it to a dark purple, or like this pink, whatever. We basically want it to match that on the text. You want to have elements work together with the design. Okay, and we need to fuck with the levels a little bit. So press Control L on the polygon layer, and we need to bring in the blacks more, and just make way more contrast with this, because currently it's not really working. Okay, that's something that we got. Okay, we're just gonna have to ignore that layer, like those watermarks, I mean, those really are more apparent when we fuck with that. Let's go to right click. I'm just gonna try something. You can do that. Okay, so go over to the watermark, right click, do fill, content aware, and that kind of gets rid of the watermark. Just a tiny little trick that I've learned over Photoshop. I've never really done it on my channel. It's gonna kind of mess with the pattern. It's gonna make the lines not straight, but you know, it's better than seeing a watermark that you don't really want. So there you go. And just over this bit, I don't want white there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's gonna work for now. And then I'm going to go over here, right? And I'm gonna make a selection onto this mask, and we're gonna go here on this top bit and fill this in with like that. We can do those different dips of colors, that's perfectly fine, but that's not what we're going to be doing in today's tutorial. We're actually going to be making this top bit a different color. So we're going to do that. It's going to be clipping mask, but now we are going to make it a black one. So I'm going to use the Marquee tool by pressing M and fill this bottom in with black, right? A foreground color of black. So when we do this, it only affects the top bit. Yes, it's a bit mind-fucking, but if you just put two brain cells together, basically we made this one only apply to the bottom and the top one only apply to the top. So the bottom one only applied to the top and the top one to only apply to the bottom. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, we're gonna do the hue 0, saturation 0, and do the lightness like this. Actually, I want more saturation. Okay, hue and saturation is not the best one. Control D, it would be black and white. There you go. And then okay, sweet. And then with this black and white, we can make it like more effective basically. So we're going to pump up the blacks, make it more grungy. Don't worry, we're gonna fade this out. It's gonna be like more, it's gonna look a lot more nice. We're just like making a really cool like little backing here. You'll kind of get it, like don't worry. It's easy peasy. This is the life of a designer. I'm just introducing you guys, you do the rest. You'll find your own style. So the red and the yellows look like it affects it the most. So easy. There we go. Okay, so we also, I'm gonna change the hue on this one a little bit. It's gotta be a bit more like that. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add in the text now that I just rendered. It should be finished with the render, which is really simple. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and we're going to go and grab that render. Tutorial 1. Tutorial. Sweet. Just downsize it and make sure it's in front of the design text. We also need to change the view of the camera, lols. I'm just gonna re-render it, make sure it's like that, so it's sitting on the ground, basically. Alright, sweet. Once that's re-rendering, we're gonna keep on working on this backing, because there's heaps of things that we could do with it. So we're going to fade out the edges a little bit on this rectangle. So we're going to grab the razor tool, grab like a nice size, like 200 pixels, nice and juicy, hardness 0, and then we're going to go onto the rectangle layer and just fade this out so it's got like no real connection to the things, especially on the blacks or whatever, on the black areas. But we're still going to fade it out on the others, just a little bit lighter. So yeah, to make it lighter, we can go to the size and do like 500 and then do something like that. And we are going to change the opacity of this. So we are going to actually, I want to make this top bit a different layer, but I don't really at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it like that, and when I change the opacity, it will only affect, well, I thought it would only affect the top one, but apparently fucking not. It did before in the last Photoshops. Then I guess I'm going to have to cut it. Like the baller that I am. Well, that's not going to really work. I guess the only way it will to be Control J, Control E, delete this, and reduce the opacity on this, and delete the top bit of this on the original one. So when I reduce the opacity on this, it's only going to affect the top. Okay, so something like that, which I really am digging. I'm going to press Control U, and I just want to make this a little bit more light. Something like that would be pretty nice. Okay, sweet. I'm just going to move this down a little bit, and I'm going to do a distort. Okay, sweet. So that's pretty good. I don't like that I raised it so much, so I'm just going to press Control J a bunch of times. And that's going to really bring back the edges. Just press Control E by shift dragging, selecting them all, press Control E, merges it again. And again, we can go back and fix our mistakes. So we can press Control U, make this a little bit more lighter, and bump up the saturation. Doesn't really affect it, yeah. What am I thinking? Okay, there we go. And then the opacity, like that, sweet. Okay, so with this bottom bit, we're going to do something pretty cool. I just don't know how we're going to go about it. So we're going to grab the pen tool and do like a selection here, and then do like that. So click and drag that. If you haven't used the pen tool previously, there's heaps of tutorials on YouTube about it that go through it, as well as there's heaps of resources on about it. For some reason, a lot of people struggle with it. I can understand where that comes from. With practice, you get a lot better with like making your lines more efficient in that. It's really not hard though, so yeah. We're gonna do make selection around that path. We're gonna press OK, and along this path, we are going to do Control X, Control V, and just release that clipping mask. Oh, holy shit, this is actually so annoying. That doesn't work. Jesus Christ. What am I going to do with this? Let's just make this into one rectangle. Like all these layer styles, we just press Control J, group that. That's going to be our backup if anything fucks up. Why did I do link layers twice? Create clipping mask, and then just merge that, and that's one image. So yeah, if we don't like the settings, we can't really go back, but I mean, that's going to be the only way for what I can really do it quickly. So press Control V, Control X, Control V, just cut and paste, basically. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it back right there. Okay, sweet. Okay, so with this little cutout, we're going to add some effects so it's like kind of popping out of the image. So to do that, we're going to press Control U and go through the saturation and just do a little bit lighter. There we go. And we're going to pump up the lightness like that. So it's going to be a little bit less saturated, and we're going to make it like that. Okay, sweet. Like a +11, +12, and then go to the blending options, and we're going to do a stroke on this. Can you believe it or not? I'm going to save this as like a gradient for you guys. Just gonna go to my tutorial and then do that. Okay, sweet. So that I can have it again. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to normal, like a normal gradient. I don't actually want a gradient stroke. I want a normal color one this time, and then go into the dark blue, I guess, and something like that. Now do the opacity down or whatever, and then do the stroke of the size of the stroke a little bit there, like that. Okay, now we're gonna add a drop shadow. Do the opacity up, size like this. Just copy my things as I'm going. If you want, I'm just trying to find the best one that I think is good. You can always do a different settings which you want, like that, and something like that. Okay, sweet. Alrighty. This looks very mediocre right now, I understand, but we still got heaps of like layering styles to go through. So yeah. Anyway, so we're going to go to this and just open up our render, update that, and drag this in. Again, it's going to be dragged up on the top of the layer, and we can just copy these layer styles and paste it on, because we're going to change the colors anyway. It just needs to fucking not onto the one. We actually need to get the text out again like we did before. Jesus, I'm actually stupid. Alright. There we go, something like that. And I'm gonna grab this out and do tutorial. It's gonna be on top of this render. And this one can honestly just be on front like that. That's fine like that, because we're not going to do a stroke onto it. So we're going to do paste layer style onto that. And right click on the stroke, turn that off, go to layer style, and we're going to mess around with this. Okay, so we don't need as many steps with this one. Just going to delete that. Add in like an orange. And then we are going to go into this one and then do like a dark orange like that. And then do like a really nice yellow. That's not a nice yellow. Maybe it's because it's coming from a horrible color. This is way too dark. My bad. My bad, bro-him. And we're gonna bring this little thing in. Right in like that. Okay, sweet. This needs to be more light. That, and that needs to come in like that. Give the white more things. Okay, so it just needs to kind of really come off like that. What else can we do? We can add in the lighting later, do all that jazz later. Alright, sweet. So now we need to make this text and everything like this a little bit better. But before we do that, we need to add in 2 triangles, like polygon triangles, and then I'm going to show you how to make the back, and we're also going to do like some of the particle effects and see if we can use Magic Bullet looks to really spice this up. Probably not, but first we're going to add on the noise for this text. So we're going to go to these text, just do that, and then rationalize layer style. And we're going to go to the blending options, and we're going to do a pattern overlay. Now this pattern overlay is going to add in a noise. We're just going to select an appropriate one. I think these are all default ones. I hope they are. And we're going to do it as a... I think the original one was linear burn. That was right. Yeah, linear burn's right. And then do the size of it. I really don't know how to add in noise. Okay, that's fine. So opacity like 40, linear burn, scale 85 on this one, and then go okay. We're gonna right click, do copy layer style, and we're gonna do the same on the design text. But with the design text, because it's a different size of text, we're gonna need to fix the scale, hopefully. Oh, no, that's all right. Okay, that's pretty good. We're just gonna change the opacity on this main one a little bit lower, down to like 85%. Okay, sweet. Okay, so we got noise, as you can see. Every, what it's called, fucking retro design has that now. Anyway, so we're going to go back to the render, and we are going to mess with this one a little bit. So we're going to press Control U and bring up the lightness. We're going to drag this one down. I want to use a paintbrush tool, actually. So we're going to go and make a new layer. Just press Control on the render, so when we're painting, it's only going to be onto the layer like that. Okay, so we're going to just do a black or like a really dark blue. Maybe a really dark blue would be better. Something basically close to black, and then just basically color onto those, but we're going to like leave a little bit of color onto the text itself, like onto the edges or whatever, so it can still kind of like pop out. And then we are going to make a new layer behind the render, but between that stuff. I'm just gonna name this. Okay. On this layer, we are going to change the size of the brush to 500 and just make this a little bit, not 50, the fuck? 3. Okay, sweet. Just going to make that like a blue. Okay, sweet. So now the text is like kind of really popping off and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna show you the difference before and without. See the difference of that? Just one little thing of lighting. See how much of a huge difference that makes? Just want to make sure that you guys can understand that, as it might be looking shit now, we're just gonna add in like those little things which really like make a huge difference, like honestly. Anyway, so the next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in those little 2 triangles, and then we're going to add in like the really nice stuff, like the particles and stuff like that, and this thing will really like come in like that at that time. Anyway, but before we do that, I just remembered I want to make this like little thing pop off with the lighting, so I'll do this again. So we're going to go make a purple this time, like a really bright pink, and we're just going to do something like that. Even a brighter pink, like I would suggest, like a really like toxic pink, like something that you would not paint your car, you know what I mean? Okay, something like that, and then we can go to the opacity. We'll change like something so it like makes it really show that we had a like there's a lighting there. I think normal is fine, to be honest, and just change the opacity like that. The thing is, that is not a big enough difference color, like, for it to really show. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna change it a little bit with the Control U. Just going to make it a different purple or a pinkish, whatever. There you go, and then change this. Okay, sweet. There's not enough blacks in this, honestly, in my dare say opinion, so I'm just gonna add in some more blacks with pressing Control L, as you do. I mean, that'll work for now, and then ring this up. Okay, sweet. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to add in those triangles. So we're gonna go here and just grab the polygon tool. I'll show you how to make an easy triangle. 3 sides, triangles, polygon, easy peasy. Well, all shapes are polygons basically. So we're just gonna draw one like this. We're going to edit it anyway, so we're just getting this for the size instead of using the pen tool, dare I say. And we are going to just rationalize this layer and start working with the triangles. So I'm gonna show you how to make a really cool polygon triangle. So we're going to go, how am I gonna do this first? Make a new layer, pen tool, and do this. Make selection, okay, and do a light blue fill. Okay, this one. Press Control-Shift-I and delete out the rest. So what I did there is I control-clicked the thumbnail of the polygon layer, and then I made sure I'm on the triangle, like the pen tool thing, and then I press Control-Shift-I to invert the selection, and that deletes all the stuff that's the excess. Easy peasy. Pen tool again, just select onto that point, and bam, right click, do make selection, and we're gonna do a different color this time. So we're gonna do like this blue. Not with the pen tool, press G, and then same thing. If it's a little bit off, that's fine. It doesn't really have to be like Mr. Accurate or whatever. And then okay, and then we're going to do the same on this bit. Actually, you know what? You can just change the polygon. Press Control U and then do this one. Like a dark blue. Okay, sweet. So we got like a really cool like little design there. Easy peasy, that's how you make those types of shapes. Sweet. Now we are going to just merge those two together. So it's one. We're going to just move this in position. Something like that. And I'm going to distort it in such a manner like that. I'm just holding control, so I'm just dragging out the points. Okay, and right click, go to blending options. I'm gonna do a stroke, and we're gonna use the same stroke technique as before, like that, but now it's just going to be black and like white and black, sorry. And it's not going to be as many times, unfortunately. Like, that's honestly enough. Okay, sweet. Sweet, just change the size of this. I really want to make it apparent that there's something there. Holy shit, not 15, and we're gonna do the position inside this time. So it doesn't get those rounded edges, we get the nice and clean cut ones. Let's do 8, that's a nice one. And blending mode, I want it to kind of blend in with that color. I got a cool idea actually for the normal shape. Let's just do normal. I'm going to change the size, this is way too large. 4 actually is a good one, to be honest. And then just change. That's alright actually. Luminosity is pretty good. I just don't like that this black is not showing at all. Let's just change it to like a gray. Add in like a little bit more areas, to be honest, just to make it interesting. Little pattern that we've got going there. Alright, sweet. Okay, this is gradient. No, this is linear. What about radial? Reflected. Just trying the different types. Radial is pretty cool. Let's do reverse. I like it on reverse. I just don't like the fact. That's honestly like pretty nice. Let's just change the opacity. Something like that. Okay, I don't want to stay too long on that, but that's basically what we're gonna do. Press Control J. This is just a little quick one, and so we can move it around there. Press Control U. We're going to change the color of this one to purple. Again, sticking to that blue and purple color theme. And just moving this one. Distort it with the points. Okay, sweet. I don't like it that there's a lot of like different points there. On the stroke, let's just change 1 or 2. Make it more easy on the eyes. Okay, sweet. And I actually might change the grays to like a dark purple. Let's do that. I like that. Holy shit. I keep on adding extra points by accident, but I don't really care. I'm just trying to not let this tutorial go on for too long. And let's do linear. That's actually perfect. That's what we really want. Anyway, so we're gonna do that, and yeah, we got that going. So now we're going to add in like the little layer styles in that. I'm just gonna see how long we've been recording for. 51 minutes. What a fucking doozy. Right. So yeah, we're gonna add into those like particle effects and just do the backings real quick. So sunburst stock. Get something like that. I'll save. This is into the tutorial. Bam. And do file open. Sunburst. Okay. We get that in. Get something like that going. Sweet. This is going to go right on the behind like that, and we're just going to quickly get rid of all the whites. I'm sure we could do it another way, like using one of the blending options, but it's honestly just so fucking easy just to go through and select all that, and then go Control U. Well, not good. Control U, and then do like a purple. Sweet. And then we're gonna go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then blur this right off to something like that. Right, and then do that, and then do the opacity like a really. We can always use the brush tool to just do something like that, and then we're gonna add in like a slight little glow. I think that should make a difference. Add a glow. There we go, and just change the opacity. This needs to be really light. We just need a little stop there. Okay, and then we're gonna use the eraser tool and eraser off the edges. Just use a huge one, so it's gonna be nice and soft. Man, I'm so down that this tutorial is so long. I haven't really had much practice though doing recently. Okay, sweet. And we got something like that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to grab the text, which is the design text. Just all these layers, and press Ctrl J, press Ctrl E, and bring this one behind this, and press Ctrl T and resize something like this. Okay, sweet. Go to the opacity obviously and change this one right down to something like that. We're going to try and maybe do something else, do like this, and turn like the opacity. I don't have much time. I don't want to make this tutorial too long, so I'm just gonna. Holy shit, that kind of look cool on the other one. But I'm just gonna do like a normal thing here. Just don't want to keep you guys waiting that long. Okay, sweet. So something like that. And obviously we can change like the gradient like inverse compared like on the like the sample one or whatever. They inverse the gradient on this, but honestly that's gonna take like, that's a 2 hour like thing. Like don't worry, like designers, like they'll spend like a long time on this type of stuff. So we're just like, I'm just trying to show you like a bunch of different things in one like type of tutorial basically. That's why I kind of do this stuff. So if you don't like my style of teaching, that's fine. I don't expect you to stay the entire time. But if you'd like my commentary and stuff like that, sweet. So yeah, it's cool. Just gonna do something like that, and then we're gonna add in some particles. So I'm gonna use wolves pack, whatever. Fuck, I had a mind blank, my bad. Styles, easy peasy. Let's try this. Just trying to make this back a little bit more color, you know? You feel me, cuz? Okay, and then we're going to grab halftones. Just try to make this retro-y as possible. I'll put all this stuff in like the description below, so don't worry like getting these stocks in that. Like you'll grab any of this stuff. I'm just trying to like kind of work like out what's gonna go where. Okay, sweet. And then I'm going to do like a new layer above this, all, and this is going to be our main light source. It's really easy to like just make light in something, and you should manipulate that because it's a great thing for like an effect. Okay, this is going to be white, and then on the bottom I'm going to do like a dark blue, like a dark purple, sorry. And with this one, just change something like that. And this one, change like that. Okay, sweet. It's not really needed, a bottom one, honestly. Alright. So something like that, and that really like brightens up the image or whatever. And we're gonna add in 2 more things and then go into bullet looks. So I'm gonna find those. Make the brush 300. And then do this like a light one. Let's do 400 actually. And do like that, go to the opacity and go under, and then perfect. And then we're going to do this one. Okay, sweet. And I'm gonna do a speed art of me adding in the like the particles and everything to touch that up. And I actually might do that like for the rest of the tutorials on this channel. I just really like the idea of that, and then you guys can see what I did, like the final touch-ups or whatever. Let's do like a back one under this. Can always add in like these different like little light sources everywhere. There's a lot of little different things in this design which I did not expect, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll come back with you guys with a new tutorial and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you so much. I will see you in